Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here to this wonderful celebration. My name's Tommy Lynch. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. Thank you for coming out here to Beaman Park. What a great day. This park is one of the primary success stories involving open space. Parks, the public-private partnerships that have added to so many valuable acres to metro parks over the years. Thanks to Lee Beaman and the Beaman family, we could not be here without his family's contributions. I need to take care of a little work first. I want to acknowledge Mr. George Anderson, the chairman of the park board, who is here today. My boss. And for those of you, if this is your first time here, while you're here, find Leanne Welch. She's the chairman of the board for our nature centers, both here and at Bell's Bend, and just does a wonderful job of programming and brings people to nature all the time. Leanne is one of our best employees. We are here to celebrate the expansion of this park as another addition to our park system through the open space plan, and to begin that process, I would like to bring to the podium Miss Jeannie Nelson. She's been working extensively with our department over the years with the drawing up of the open space plan, and helped us acquire property here. And through her organization, the Land Trust of Tennessee, she's done this all across the state. Jeannie.
Thank you, Tommy. It is so fabulous to be here with this whole group and to have a chance to celebrate both this great addition to the Beaman, through the great Beaman Park, Lee, and to also to have a chance to celebrate the achievements of the last 8 years, and are they ever extraordinary. About, right after Mayor Dean came into office, he appointed some 25 citizens and established something called the Green Ribbon Committee. And the goal of that committee was to make Nashville the greenest city in the Southeast. Well, there was some very serious energy that got behind this, and that energy had a name called Ann Davis. And I don't see her here, but I mean, you can feel that spirit, whether you have had anything to do with Greenways for Nashville, whether you've had anything to do with the Green Ribbon Plan, Green Ribbon Committee, with the open space plan. Her commitment, her drive, she has been behind so many of the successes that have occurred in this county. Thank you, Ann, wherever you are today. The Green Ribbon Committee, one of its major initiatives related to the Green Ribbon Committee and its success was to establish an open space plan. And that open space plan was to give us a roadmap. And we had spectacular partners. The Land Trust and the Mayor's Office got together, again with Ann, right shoulder to shoulder with us, and then brought on our great partner, the Conservation Fund. And we all came together to put this together. And we had great advisors. Lots of you in this room worked on that. But you know, this plan, all of you in the room know how people talk about plans. They get put on a shelf. Well, this was a dustless wonder. The day it was announced, Mayor Dean announced the first victory under it, which was the perfect partnership between nonprofits, private foundations, and donors, and the city of Nashville. And it was the Canilla Fort Air Park. And since then, these major additions. And, you know, I think we're going to get to hopefully hear more. I haven't read the mayor's talking points, but hopefully he's going to go over all the great things that have happened. But that open space plan set forth big goal of some 22,000 acres, but a goal of 3,000 acres for public acreage addition. And you know what? We have hit, everybody in this room working together with this incredible administration have hit over 4,500 acres. 14 new parks, 6 additions to parks, and I could go on. I want to take one little special moment, and I'm going to miss so many people in this room who have made such a difference for all of this. But I have to recognize Shane Dennison for every moment of dedication, every waking hour, I think, to making so many of these things come true. My second hero that I have to mention is Greg Hinote. Greg is the secret message. Greg here, I know he was going to try to come, but he may have found out I was going to say something. He decided not to. But he was always there for us to listen, to guide, and to help all of us work together. So I want to give all of them an applause for both of them. And also, he and that whole team of Jim Fike, of Laurel Creech, of all the people who have made this come together so professionally from our city. The nonprofits, the success from the Friends of Warner Parks, from the Greenways for Nashville, for the Beaman to Bell's Bend group, to the, I could go on, and I won't. I want to be very, very careful with that. But in addition to this great celebration of the accomplishments of the Green Ribbon Committee, and the fact that we've doubled under this administration the number of miles of greenways is a huge one. We've gone from 40 to 80 in this city, and it's miraculous. So, I want to turn to the big celebration, the capstone on that 4,500 acres. I get the chance to introduce for a few words that he's agreed to make. One of our city's longtime and best citizens, Harris Gilbert. Harris brought his family together to make this new 568-acre addition to Beaman Park happen. Harris is one of our finest lawyers and one of our finest civic leaders. And I will only tell you about one of those things besides the legacy he and his family have made happen today. And that is outside in what he has done for the future of so many in our community who do not have access to justice. In the late 1960s, Harris Gilbert founded our legal aid in Nashville. Then, for the state of Tennessee, when he was president of the Tennessee Bar Association, he was such an advocate for pro bono, which is the part of lawyers' work where they give their time. Private lawyers and government lawyers give their time to help. He was such an advocate that ever since then, the Pro Bono Lawyer of the Year in the state, the name of that award is in the name of Harris Gilbert. That is one of the great legacies for a better life in our city and our state that he has made. And now, in a different way, he has contributed by working with his family, and they have been so on board, and it's been fantastic to do a different thing to help our community for now and for future generations. It's going to be a better place for the gift to this community that this family is making. I had the chance to talk to his daughter and his son, and the theme that comes through is they want to give back to this community, the community that's meant so much to them since 1869, when the great-great-grandfather, maybe your great-grandfather, chose Nashville to live in. But his daughter's quote when she said, what it means to be living in a place and contributing to a place is what drives my father. Thank you, Harris. And I'm going to turn it over to Harris.
Well, I hope I have some of those supernatural powers that David Briley was using in his ads for his race for vice mayor, and keep the rain far away from us, but we'll try to get through rapidly so you won't get wet. I tell you, when you see and hear somebody like Jeannie Nelson, you know, you can understand how I wanted to give it away. She grabs you, and I had no intention of doing that. And then she got with my daughter, who lives in Boston and is a very dedicated conservationist there, and is on the board of the Charles River Conservancy, trying to clean up the Charles River. And she said, you got to do something with this property. She says, and she and Jeannie, they conspired and got us to do it. And so she's amazing. And people sometimes say, well, women can't do this sort of thing, and they can't hold these posts, and they can't get it done. They're wrong. They have a special magic power about them, a supernatural power sometimes, and get you in. And Shane is the same way. Shane Dennison, I must say, I spent some time with her, and you know, it's just, you say, well, the best thing to do is go and give it to her. my interest. Now, it's not totally a gift. There is some consideration. This is a family gift. My brother is in the back here somewhere. I saw him a little while ago. He's Charles. My sister, Pauline, who is ailing and lives in New York, and she is very much behind this. And my nephew, Charles Henry Gilbert, he is in the picture somewhere. If you knew Charles Henry, you'd spot him in a minute. There he is. And they have all wanted to do something that made sense. Well, you know, we were very lucky. Our uncle Leon Gilbert bought this property 65 years ago, and he always told me, just keep it like it is, don't worry about it, your developer will come someday. Well, the developer is here. It's the Public Works Department of the City of Nashville. And they're great. They're great. They do so many things that you just don't pay attention to. I have been a beneficiary. My family's been a beneficiary of the Public Works Department. I can remember 70 years ago when I first started playing golf. It was on Percy Warner in Shelby Park. I didn't think about it as a Public Works project, but they were. That's where I learned. Afterwards, I would go to Percy Warner Park with my children, my son who's here. There he is, good-looking one right there, smiling. And we would have a dinner, a catered dinner. Well, not exactly. It came from Shawnee's, and we took it out and have it on Sunday night in the park. And it was just a different type, you know, sitting there eating at Deep Well in one of those little cabined areas. It was a heck of a lot different than just eating at our home place. It just, the feel of being in a park around you is something that's so different. Today, I can't bike much anymore. They've told me I ought to quit biking. I did. But my son, he mountain bikes in Percy Warner Park. Who'd ever thought anybody be mountain biking in Percy Warner Park? But he does. I may not like it, but he does, and that's good enough for me. We got to look at what a park system does for us. And one of the things that is really great is our director, Tommy, who is just a fabulous person, and he's explained to me, what we can do in Percy Warner Park, and what we're going to do with Abby Warner Park. We're going to have the parking problem fixed. We're going to do this. I sit there and wonder. I mean, this man is innovative and creative and gets it done, and we're just fortunate. We were fortunate that the land has never been touched in the 65 years we've had it, and in most ways it's never been touched far as we know. There's some small portion, maybe 10 acres, that had some timber taken off about 50 years ago, so you could open it up, but it is still more or less in a virgin atmosphere. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. It is really something that I can say you don't have to go all the way to the Smokies or Gatlinburg to see vistas or hills, ravines, areas that just absolutely blow your mind away. And I've been very lucky to have two people who helped me over the years, watching it for me, looking after it, and tell me what to do. One of them is here today. He's Tom Patiglieri. There he is, right there, the mountain man. And the other is Greg Jones, a police officer, who's at the opposite end of Whitlow Mountain Road. Whitlow Mountain Road is this beautiful road that traverses about 4 or 5 miles along the area on the bottom of that map. And it's good to have them because they keep people from wandering in with their trash and with their garbage and stuff. And Lee Beaman has told me, you know, you'd be amazed sometimes where people take advantage of an open space and run it. And Lee has been an advocate of keeping these sort of things from happening here. In closing, I am so happy the mayor is here. He has been a great advocate for open space development. He often gets credit, and he deserves more credit for opening up Nashville to every sort of decent, wonderful city environments. He's made the downtown completely over. It is a place today where everybody in the United States wants to come. And yes, I am so proud of the work you've done in the city. My grandfather started 150 years ago down on Market Street. Market Street today, it's unbelievable. Go south of Broadway, it's beyond unbelievable. And a great deal of the credit goes to our mayor, but he also has been a great advocate for open space and for developing the land. You can't come back 25, 50, 75 years from now and believe what will happen here. I mean, what has happened downtown is fantastic, but this area, which has been somewhat forgotten about in some respects, which is sometimes overlooked, will be here, and the beauty will be preserved. There will be some development around here. There's going to be more and more people coming. But Lee, we're going to have 3,000 acres that they ain't going to get to. So that's it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Gilbert and I enjoyed several nice conversations over at the park office, and being native Nashvillians, it's amazing that our paths had not crossed more often in the past than it had. I was going to talk about acres and parks and greenways, and between Mr. Gilbert and Jeannie, they both have done that, and I guess I'm going to do my real job that I'm here to do today, and that's to introduce the next speaker. A couple of weeks ago, we were at a ribbon cutting downtown in the wonderful downtown at Riverfront Park, where the Ascend Amphitheater just opened. I know I enjoy him at ribbon cuttings, opening parks more than he enjoys opening parks. But I think it can't go without saying that we had a wonderful leader the last 8 years. We had an economic downturn and we had natural disaster. And then look at Nashville. And a lot of the credit, sometimes in some of the campaigns, it almost seemed like a lot of the blame lately. But a lot of the credit goes to the leadership that Mayor Dean has provided this city. He's been a wonderful person to work for, and I'm a person that has to answer to two bosses sometimes with George. But we couldn't have had a better mayor the last 8 years. It's going to be a tough act to follow. With that, Mayor Carl Dean.
Well, thank you, Tommy, for that kind introduction and for all your leadership in making our city greener and more sustainable. I want to recognize council members who are here. First of all, you have former council member Phil Ponder, who's just an incredible citizen, but also a credible supporter of greenways and everything good. So, Karen Bennett is with us. There she is. Karen Karen is running for council at large. She made the cut, so I think she would like you to remember her name, so please do. Yes. Councilman Peter Westerham, who's here. Peter has been, I think, an outstanding councilman. He's done an incredible job for our city, and I'll always be grateful for all the ways that he helped me in the last 4 years. I want to recognize Jim Fike, the former head of Parks, who is just a wonderful fellow. And I also would like to thank Lee Beaman. Lee, thank you for all that you've done for our city and all your generosity in making this place possible. I want to thank the partners who have helped conserve open space over the last several years. One of those partners is Metro Parks. We continue to add parkland and park facilities and to meet the growing needs of our community. And Tommy, along with Shane and Jim Fike and other staff, work hard every day to preserve our natural resources and encourage people in our community to be healthy and active. The work they do is making our city an even better place for families and individuals to live, and that's really our ultimate goal as a community. We're here today to celebrate the expansion of Beaman Park with the new acquisition of the Gilbert Forest. We're also celebrating the generous support and contributions we've received throughout Davidson County. This additional 568 acres for Beaman Park significantly expands the boundary of the vast park to approximately 2,200 acres, which is second in size only to Warner Parks. This acquisition will further protect the beautiful valleys and ridges of the Western Highland Rim and along Little Marrowbone Creek as far as the eye can see. What's most spectacular about this land is that it features rolling hills and dense second-growth forests with many mature trees, pristine streams, scenic vistas of deep valleys, and a wide variety of wildflowers. I'd like to take this moment to personally thank Harris and the entire Gilbert family for caring for our environment and protecting this natural area for future generations to enjoy. I also want to thank the Land Trust of Tennessee, particularly Jeannie Nelson, who has been a dedicated and passionate champion of protecting land. Jeannie played an important role in this new Beaman Park expansion. The idea for an open space master plan in Nashville originated with a recommendation from the Green Ribbon Committee on Environmental Sustainability, which we formed shortly after we came into office. This committee represented dynamic leaders from across the city, including my wife Ann, who is here. She's unassuming and retiring, but she's powerful. I asked that committee to come up with a series of goals and action steps that would make Nashville the greenest city in the Southeast. That is a big goal, and I'm not saying we're there yet, but we've made lots of strides. And I'm a big believer for a city, particularly in education, particularly in things like open space and being sustainable, that you have to set high goals, because if you don't, you're not going to go anywhere. The great challenge in life, the excitement in life, is striving to improve. And one of the goals of the Green Ribbon Committee was to design and implement the most progressive open space plan in the Southeast. This was an important recommendation for me, and it was one we acted on almost immediately following the issue of the report. We acted quickly on the recommendations, not because other cities were doing it, but because I wanted to tell other cities that we are the greenest city in the Southeast, and also that we are doing the right thing by our people. Nashville is growing, and the needs of our community are growing. More and more people are recognizing that what our city has to offer in terms of quality of life and economic opportunities. And as people and businesses move here, it's important that we preserve the things that drew them here in the first place. People want places to get outdoors and be active. They want clean air and clean water. They want to see and enjoy our distinctive landscape and our natural resources. And it is so important that we plan for open space preservation just like we plan for development. We've taken notice of other cities in the Southeast that are losing their competitiveness due to unmitigated growth, poor air quality, and unbearable traffic. And we have to choose a different path. That's what led us to create our city's first open space plan. The plan's creation was supported by a generous donation from the Martin Foundation and overseen by the Land Trust of Tennessee. It called for a public-private approach to preserving 22,000 acres of sensitive natural areas and floodplains by 2035, including 6,000 acres that should be set aside specifically as parkland. The plan had a shorter-term goal of setting aside 3,000 acres of open space by the year 2021. We are here today to celebrate because we have reached and surpassed that goal for 2021. We have conserved 4,534 acres of open space in the last 8 years. We made these acquisitions using the city's open space fund, which we established to give us flexibility to take advantage of opportunities as they come along. And this has been a true public-private partnership, whether it's people selling at an extreme discount, whether us having people donate land, whether us working with nonprofits. The government has tried to leverage its money to get more. We certainly would not have accomplished this without these type of partnerships. Historically, the private donations have played a major role in our city's large park projects, and I know there are many people committed to seeing that that remains true. These donations have helped us reach our stretch out our limited public resources so we can continue to look for unique opportunities. The preservation of open space has been strategic and includes special places, large and small. The open space plan calls for large reserves of protected open space in each of the 4 corners of the county that will serve as anchors for our network. I'm pleased to say that we have accomplished and continue to exceed this goal. For Southeast Davidson County, earlier this spring, we acquired 591 acres to be preserved as open space and to serve as an anchor park in the fastest growing part of Nashville. For the Northwest, we added Lytle Farm and the Ravenwood property for a total of 780 acres. West Nashville has Warner Parks and the new Birch Reserve. And now here in the northwest corner of the county, these 568 acres of open space rank among the city's largest acquisitions. When you think about the city's major parks that we all treasure so much, Warner, Shelby, Hadley, and Centennial, they were set aside as parkland more than 100 years ago. An investment in these 4 corners of our county, the floodplains conserved through the greenways, the new parks and expansions all over the county, we aren't doing these things just for today. These are decisions that will benefit the people of our community for the next 100 years and more. It's a legacy we leave for our grandchildren and their children and so on. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize our partners who have made the open space plan a reality. First, I want to thank Jeannie and her team at the Land Trust for having the vision and being a driver of the plan. Thank you, Jeannie. I also want to thank the Conservation Fund for its assistance with some of these large acquisitions. Thank you, Ralph, and your team. And thank you to all of our partners for your assistance, from financial contributions to the facilitation of acquiring land. All of you have played an important role. Friends of Warner Park, the Joe C. Davis Foundation, Greenways for Nashville, the Conservation Fund, Casa Asafran, 10 Green, Friends of Kellytown, and the Nature Conservancy. We wouldn't be able to celebrate our accomplishments today without your leadership, dedication, and passion for land conservation and the vitality of our city. So give all those partners a big applause. You know, we're here today to celebrate, but this is not the end. This is truly the beginning. There are ample opportunities to preserve land along our riverfront, across our county, and throughout our region. And this one is really special. I could say this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it's truly a once-and-forever opportunity. You can't make any more river bends that already exist here in Davidson County, and we have a chance now to preserve them for generations to come. It's up to each of us to continue this important work. Ultimately, what makes a city great is not its buildings. Like any mayor, perhaps more than most mayors, I get excited when we build things. But what makes a city great and what makes Nashville a better place is its people. The cities that are going to thrive in this century are the cities that are attractive to people who are educated, smart, and creative, and that have a spirit of opportunity. Smart, creative people want to be in a place that's exciting. They want to have a buzz around it. They want to be somewhere that has clean air, great greenways and parks where you can walk from place to place. What we do to make Nashville a vital city is to continue to preserve open space. And that's why we wanted to create the open space plan, to boost our economy, to make our city more attractive to people, and also fundamentally to make our city healthier, to make our children healthier. And that's as good a reason for this work to continue as any. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all you do for our environment, and please enjoy this beautiful setting and stay dry. Thank you.